Hey, what's going on, folks? I'm Automatic, and boy, there's a lot of things I wish to discuss about this new Street Fighter game that we have coming out. But first, I'm going to talk about the drive system. That's going to be the new mechanic for Street Fighter 6. There seems to be this sort of theme of combining many elements and putting them into one, and you can see this with Jamie's moveset. It seems like he has some elements of the twins, the up kick from Gen, so he probably has some influence there. Seems like Ryu has Oro's cape. Luke has the special move from Sean's second impact uppercut, as well as Abel's Ultra 2 animation, and he's got Alex's DDT. So the same can be said about the drive system in Street Fighter 6, where it combines different elements of Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, my personal favorite, and maybe a little bit of Street Fighter 5 with the sort of V-reversal. And this is of course comparable to also the Alpha series. Even Street Fighter Cross Tekken had a reversal kind of aspect to it. So we're going to go over each of these drive system mechanics and talk about them individually and what they might mean for the game. But before we get into this video, of course, please like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I appreciate you, and let's get into it. Now, the first mechanic that I'll discuss is Drive Impact. A lot of people are comparing this to Focus Attack from Street Fighter 4, but so far it seems like there's many differences between that. The general idea of having a move that has armor, advances forward, and maybe crumples, that does have a similarity to Focus Attack, but some of the differences between what I've seen in Drive Impact and Focus Attack is that with Focus Attack you can backdash, you can dash forward, and you can charge the move. And with Focus Attack you have 3 different levels to it in Street Fighter 4, where the first level, it offers a crumple on counter hit. The second level gives you frame advantage, and it's also, it takes more time to charge the move up. And then the third part, mostly you would just see this in combos in Street Fighter 4, where you charge it up for so long that even though it has an unblockable state to it, it's more about doing extra damage if they're stunned or that kind of thing. That's where you mostly saw the level 3 charge. But none of those seem to be in Street Fighter 6. It's just Drive Impact. If you're a classic player, this is a heavy punch plus heavy kick move, just 2 buttons, and it costs 1 bar. So the first clip here that they've shown in the trailers is Jamie performing Drive Impact against 2 hits of Luke attacking him. It looks like heavy punch into heavy punch flash knuckle. There's the heavy punch, there's the heavy punch flash knuckle from Luke. Drive Impact is absorbing 2 hits. It's hitting the recovery of Luke's flash knuckle, but it's also causing a crumple state. And right after this, you see Jamie follows up with what looks to be like a super art of some sort. Immediately after, he does the little spin kick breakdance move. And then up next, it seems like we have Ryu against Chun-Li, both doing Drive Impacts. Now, one thing that I'm noticing here is that it seems like Ryu's Drive Impact only has 1 hit, where so far, Jamie and Chun-Li's has 2 hits. Now, what this really means, probably, is that their Drive Impact just lasts longer. So it may not be a universal mechanic between characters as far as how long the hits are. But one thing to notice here is that when these 2 Drive Impacts collide, there is a bit of a screen freeze. So this looks a lot like Tekken, where you got the slow-mo and maybe even a little bit of a zoom in. I think that's really cool. But this is probably a conditional activation, I guess you can say. Now, will this really mean anything in terms of gameplay? I don't think this particularly will. It'll just be cool. It'll just be cool to look at. I think that's really all that's going on as far as that. But I think this is only happening because 2 are happening at the same time, and there's going to be a clear winner. No other choices are available to be made in this very moment. So the game has an opportunity to showcase something, I guess, exciting and cool happening. And the same idea. The Drive Impact is punishing something, therefore it's causing a crumple state. And here we see the exact same thing with Jamie. He's just going through what looks like a fireball from Luke. This is definitely a fireball. One interesting thing though, I did look at the frames for Luke's fireball, and they seem, I don't know, I'm very suspicious of fireballs in this game. Luke in Street Fighter 5, and I shouldn't talk about this, is not about, I guess it is a little bit, it's about parry. Luke's fireball in Street Fighter 5, it's known to be pretty ridiculous, right? It's super fast, it travels really quickly as well. But one thing people don't talk about often enough is that Luke's fireball has terrible recovery. Now in a game like this that has parry, where you can dash, where you can parry and then dash, if you're able to react to Luke's fireball, that's really bad news for him. Because then you can react to his fireball, parry it, dash up, and probably punish him if he has really bad recovery. Maybe I'll put that edit in during the parry section. Man, this is the same thing. The drive impact is punishing something, therefore causing a crumple state. Again, Ryu's doing donkey kick. Ryu is doing donkey kick. He's in the recovery of donkey kick. And then Chun-Li's drive impact is punishing it and causing a crumple state. Now they only give us a few frames of this. They don't show the actual punish. But there was a very, very short clip, and I'm about to show it here, where drive impact was blocked. Just right here. Just a few frames. This is slow motion. Drive impact blocked, and it causes a push away. I think there's one more instance of them showing this, but this is absolutely Chun-Li's drive impact. Ryu's blocking it, and he gets pushed away. You know, in fact, the animation almost looks like push block from like Marvel vs. Capcom. This little shield you have right here, that's pretty cool. Now this we see, oh, this is actually perfect. This is Jamie doing the drive parry, and I don't think he's canceling the parry. I don't think it's like where you dash cancel the parry. We'll get into that later. I think the parry recovers, and then he does drive impact, and then Luke gets hit by it. But what's interesting is if you look closely, Luke is doing what is his V-Skill 2 in Street Fighter V. This is counter-hitting Luke, but it's not causing a crumple state. Instead, he is being pushed away. So maybe drive impact will cause a crumple state if you attack your opponent on the recovery, but not the startup. Maybe even during the active frames too. But during the startup, it's not causing the crumple state. The crumple state being where they're just kind of laying on the ground. They can't do nothing. You can combo them. So again, this is the reverse. Chun-Li is doing drive impact. Ryu later, after Chun-Li, does his drive impact. And it's causing a deep crumple state. Now this one is going to be hard to understand. My prediction is that either this is the super meter when you have it stocked up to 3, or maybe it's like almost like a fatality where if their health is low and then you perform a super, you get this animation. It could also be tied into this specific scenario, because this animation here, it's so impactful and unique that it makes me believe that it's because it's a low health kind of. This has to be conditional, it looks like. So the next mechanic we're going to talk about is drive parry. Wow, Third Strike players are going to be very excited, right? When I saw Luke parrying Jamie's sequence from the jump in, I got really excited. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And then that really sold me on the game. That kind of won me over. But then as I started to look at the details of the parry, it's definitely not, it's not a Third Strike parry where you can tap forward, go back to neutral, extend your parry window high, low. It's a little, I don't know if I would even say it's like Gil's parry in Street Fighter V, where you have the high, low. Now it is performed the same way. You hit medium punch and medium kick if you're a classic boomer like me. Now one thing that's interesting, if you look over here, it says you can hold down these inputs. So obviously if you hold these down, it's gonna increase the recovery of your parry. So you may just be able to keep holding parry for I don't know however long time. Maybe I'm sure they'll put a cap on how long you can hold the parry. But there's got to be a way to punish this. I'm sure, like, if you grab somebody, they can't parry it. But maybe there's other ways around parry that aren't quite clear yet. Now, what it says, drive cost continually drains half a bar. So that's interesting because when you successfully parry somebody, it replenishes your bar, as it states here. Automatically repel an opponent's attack and replenish drive gauge when performed successfully. Now, does that mean it will be a net positive? Like, if you parry somebody, will you gain more meter than what you started with? Because that would create interesting strategies where you're incentivized to parry things so that you get more of your drive meter back. But if you fail a parry, then you lose out on half a bar, which is not, it doesn't seem like it's that bad. You start off with, what, 5 or 6 bars, it seems like. And I don't even know if you start off with that much, but we'll get into that. The next part is that there is a perfect parry associated with this. Now, I can feel pretty confident in saying that perfect parry means that you parry somebody on the same frame or around the same frame that they attack you. Now, what benefits this is going to provide you is not quite clear yet to me. I would assume that it gives you maybe more meter But for sure, what it does do is it causes a slowdown. So what that might mean is that you can visually confirm what you are parrying. So then you can prepare the best punish possible because there is a screen freeze attached to it. So the next mechanic is just overdrive art. It pretty much seems like EX moves. It costs 2 of your drive bars. Now I suppose what is interesting about these to me is that it costs so much of the same meter that's associated with all of your other mechanics. Like, it's pretty much as expensive as it gets at 2 bars. Besides the drive rush that costs 3, it seems to rank pretty high for just EX moves. So we'll see how that works out. Or maybe some of these EX moves really are what amplify your ability to skip neutral. Up next we got Drive Rush. Now this costs 1 bar or 3 bars depending on what you cancel it from. Now a lot of people are comparing this to Focus Attack Dash Cancel. And I think that's a fair comparison. Let's look at what the text says. Perform a quick rush forward from a drive parry or a cancelable normal attack. Drive rush from a parry costs 1 drive stock, which would be a total of 1.5 bars, right? Because the parry costs half a bar over time. While drive rush from a normal attack costs 3 drive stocks. So it's really expensive to be able to cancel a move and then focus attack or drive rush forward and follow up with a combo. But this, for sure, you'll be able to do things that skip neutral. Like I imagine Chun-Li's heavy punch, dash forward twice and then cancel it. Come on, that's gonna be pretty cheap. We'll see how that works out. Maybe they won't give it frame advantage. Maybe it'll be only advantage on hit, hopefully. But let's see some examples of drive rush. Alright, we got Ryu doing a parry and then canceling into drive rush and punishing Chun-Li's heavy punch. Now what's interesting to note here, if you look closely, is that the screen freezes upon the drive rush. This gives you a clear indication of what you're punishing and what you might want to punish with. Last but not least, we got Drive Reversal, which is similar to V Reversal in Street Fighter V. It costs 2 of your drive drive. 2 seems really expensive for just a move that's like a push away move. Now in Street Fighter V, we know that the V Reversal, it removes some of your stun, it gives your opponent some white health, recoverable health, so it remains to be seen what this actually does besides push your opponent away from you. And we do have a clip of this. Perform a counterattack while blocking an opponent's attack. This damage is low, but can help you out of tight situations when you're being pressured. Let's take a look. So what we have here is Luke performing his drive reversal against Jamie. It does punish and it blows him back a little bit. Now we don't know how much damage this does again, and we don't know if it's gonna punish everything. It does look a little bit slow. So maybe there will be cases where you bait their drive reversal and then you parry them for it, or you use drive impact against it. This remains to be seen, but I'm interested in seeing how these mechanics will play out. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and share it with your friends. I'm certainly looking forward to Street Fighter 6 and how these mechanics are all gonna work in tandem together, and how the whole match and the management of the meters, I think especially, will be interesting, and how you navigate through the neutral and the knockdowns. And there seems to not be quite a comeback factor in this game, and what I think is what's gonna fuel a lot of the action is this drive meter. So depending on how you manage this and how you build your meter back up, your patience, if you gain that meter back, we'll see how that really pans out. It may be a really aggressive game. It could be a slow-paced, solid game. It's all up in the air right now. It's hard to really define it. But again, I am looking forward to finding out more about it, thinking about it more, and figuring out this game alongside each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Automatic. Peace!